your blessing. Okay. For whatever reasons, I wasn't recording when I tried to do this the first time. There's a reason for everything. I believe that. So maybe I can do it better a second time. Stop right there. Hold. I'm going to check and make sure this is actually recording. Okay. We're on. Okay. I really should get my cake timer here so that I can keep on time. So, one of the purposes of my channel is for me to use it as a way to express and encourage my personal search for the soul, the myth, and the history of North America. A lot of people say we have no soul, no history, no myth, and I completely dispute that. I think we forget to remember it. A very, very long time ago, well, not that long ago, but yeah, pretty long time ago, so we're gonna go off memory here. I was doing some research on my family history. I'm the family historian and myth maker and storyteller. And I was looking at my dad's history. His French Canadian, and trying to figure out, wow, damn, these people are old. They were here way before the Pilgrims. They were here before there was any women shipped over. But the great thing about French Canada is that they were Catholic. Not only do the French Canadians give their kids, each kid, like 20 names, and each of them is a really long name. I think they name their kid after every ancestor and every saint there is. And more. And they have about 20 kids. But the Catholics keep amazing records. They write down every name. So I was looking at my dad's history. It's old. It's up there in Canada. I still can't figure out how some of them got up there because it was so early. There wasn't anything going on, and Canada wasn't settling or doing anything there yet. So I don't know how they got there. They were up there. The earliest records I can find are just barely after 1500. So I was looking at this and at the geography in the area where a lot of them had lived until about 1900, and they're still up there. Where was I? Yeah, so I was looking up the geography of where they were living, and it was in this area that's so long ago, typically Mohawk territory and a little tribe that's affiliated with the Mohawk and the Iroquois Confederacy. And I stumbled on this lady's site, and she was living on a reservation up in Canada that was right along the American border with the United States. Why do we always say America and mean the United States? Canada is also America. So she was a fabulous writer, and that's what fascinated me about her, because her writing was just so good and so detailed and not condescending, and she was telling the story of the law of peace in North America. And I loved that it was very mature and not talking down, as people, when they like to tell native stories, it's this myth and also childlike and immature. She was telling a real story for adults. Very detailed. It was excellent and amazing. And she's no longer on, and I'll add this in too. So she's trying to tell this wonderful history of the law of peace in North America and of the great peacemaker. Part of our soul here. And at the time that she's doing this, it was just after President Obama had been elected, and for some odd reason he had it out for this tribe that was on the Canadian border with the United States. And he had American troops overrunning her reservation in Canada. She could not figure out why this wasn't news, why no one wasn't talking about this. Why was her little reservation that had formerly been of no importance, why was it overrun with American troops who were preventing the people from coming or going? They couldn't get food, they couldn't visit anyone, they could not travel freely any longer after Obama was elected. And she wanted to know, why were there American troops and Border Patrol cordoning off her reservation? And she was very, very angry at American Indian tribes for not caring, even adopting Obama. Now, the Crow did adopt him as a member, but they'll adopt almost anyone for a price. You pay them, they'll adopt you. You can use their name. There are many Europeans and Germans who claim they're Indians because they bought that right. And Obama was one of them. She was very, very angry. And her site kept getting hacked. Her beautiful story she was telling, it was a wonderful story. I just really appreciated her really good writing quality and style. And the details she was telling that were not in anyone else's stories of the law of peace. Most people's are so rudimentary, if you ask me, that I don't even bother. It's like when I was reading the Persian Tale of Kings, the Shahnameh. There's some really amazing translations, especially older ones that are wonderful and detailed. There's a really new one I got. I was so excited about this new translation of the Shahnameh, and I get it, and the guy has left out some of the most important symbolic elements. 12 people sitting around a table, 12 like demigods. Well, that doesn't matter. That stuff, that's just not pertinent to the story, he said, so I left that out. It was too much to translate. Excuse me? Excuse me. Really? That relates to so many other stories. Wow. How can I trust your translation? How can I trust it when you're leaving out some of the most important symbolic parts? Obviously symbolic. So this lady up in Canada was telling this wonderful story of the law of pace. Stop just a minute, I gotta check this camera. Alright, so back to the law of peace. So, North America does have a soul, and North America has the same story as anyone else has had. And we've invented independently the same religion, the same new religion that everyone else has. We just had different details. So long, long time ago, this is the rough story. North America, around by the Great Lakes area, there was an evil dictator. And he had like an all-seeing eye, and he had spies. And he could see everything everyone did. They had no privacy. They lived in misery and terror of this horrible dictator who had like snake-like hair like Medusa. He was evil, and he would take their children and eat them, and then he would make drinking cups out of their children's skulls. They lived in terror. This cannibal dictator who saw everything they did and gave them no privacy. So, what happened to solve this condition? Well, there was this strange woman who had this strange pregnancy. She was from a strange tribe, possibly a Huron tribe. And she was pregnant with this child. No one knew who the father was. She may have been impregnated as a virgin. She may have been a virgin mother. No one knows who the father was. He was from far away. It's hard to say who the father was. That was a great mystery. Maybe it was God. Could have been somebody from Europe. Got shipwrecked. I don't know. But anyway, she had this son. The mysterious father. And her son was really special. He was really wise. He was really smart. His skin color was a little different than the normal natives. His hair was a little wavier and lighter colored also. And he was a prophet. And he showed up one day in this evil snake cannibal dictator's territory. And he said he knew some things. He knew about peace. He knew about ways of living. And so the people said, if you are who you say you are, you will rise from the dead after 3 days. No, it doesn't stop there. We're gonna tie you to a tree. We're gonna chop the tree down. Oh my God. The tree is going to fall into the raging rivers. If you can rise from the waters after 3 days, we will know you are the one. You are who you say you are. The one whose name shall not be spoken. So they tied him to a tree. They chopped it down. The tree fell into the river. He fell into the river. He floated down the river. He went under the water. They said, we'll never see that guy again. never speak his name again, the name that shall not be spoken. But after 3 days, there was a smoky little fire downstream. Who did they find sitting at the campfire? The one whose name is now too sacred to be spoken. Who rose from the depths of the river to defeat death in North America. The one whose name shall not be spoken, the great peacemaker. The new religion that we're going to keep inventing over and over again. It won't go away no matter how much we forget it or want to reject it. They're gonna meet where the two rivers meet. So he went to town. Gunslinging before guns existed. They took out the evil dictator. They got rid of cannibalism. They got rid of all the fear. They installed peace. A few laws for how to keep the peace. The women would get the vote. The votes in North America among civilized tribes of the Iroquois. They voted the chiefs in. They made all the lineage matrilineal. Important rule was, thou shalt not emasculate the men. No, that was a very important rule in Norse lands too. You shall not emasculate, but you shall choose them. The best one to uphold the law of peace. The law of peace was so important, it lasted longer than the Roman Empire. The British colonists were fascinated by this, and when they decided they were sick of their dictator spying on them, tearing their houses apart, threatening their lives and their privacy, they sent letters to these tribes because they had studied that law of peace. And they said, we want to institute that law of peace into our future Constitution of the United States of America. But first we're going to have a revolution. And we need these law of peace people to be on our side while we're fighting for some peace. So they sent letters to all the Native American tribes. There was a minimum of 21 teepees parked there to help write the Declaration of Independence. They were there overseeing and listening to the whole thing and approved it. It wasn't only the Brits that influenced our Bill of Rights. It was already here. The law of peace was written on this land. It was here, and it's also written into our Bill of Rights and our Constitution and into our land. And if you law of peace. The great peacemaker was a prophet, and he said North America would go through 3 world wars, or snakes. And we would make it through. So there's a little bit about the soul, the forgotten history of North America, and the law written upon it, which has been broken, by the way. The Iroquois Confederacy would only last as long as they upheld the laws of peace. If they fought with each other, these tribes, amongst each other, in the land, they would lose that law of peace. And that's what happened. The tribes took sides against each other. I believe it was the war 1812 or something like that. They got greedy. And America has tribes taking sides against each other right now too. Spock says, live long and prosper.